Well, here we are. It's January 21st, 2020. So much has gone on YouTube, on social media in general, and I'm now starting to notice some of the results of COPPA, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Um, I privatized any of the dog videos I had from Mikey. And I did mark them for kids only because kids would be attracted, lured, interested possibly in looking at a dog. I had to be honest, right? So, that being said, there was the chat was disabled, um, the comment section, and there was a big red arrow, which signified it was for um, kids only and they weren't allowed to chat. So, yeah, I've deleted most of them now, which, was my intention. I was kind of curious, so I thought, well, we'll just leave them private. We'll see what happens. So that's what did happen. Um, a lot of people don't quite get COPPA, and I hope no one does get fined, but COPPA is separate from to terms of service. COPPA is affiliated more with the FTC, Federal Trade Commission in the United States of America. They found that online environments were not safe for children. There were, in children's game uh, areas, you name it, there were people that would put children at risk, at high risk. So, that being stated, they they realized, or many people realized, putting their heads together. Um, we've got to do something about this. It's not a safe environment for little kids. So, um, we've got to do something about that, and make it better for everybody. That being stated, then um, they what they did was they've hired, I forget how many thousands workers here in uh, on YouTube alone to start going through all the videos that they can find, um, and channels, and look at the ones made for kids and ones marked as not made for kids, analyze them and see if people appropriately mark them. Now, your channel can't be a mixed hybrid, from my understanding. It's either made for kids or it's made for not made for kids or made for adults. I think there should have actually been a third selection, but there's no gray area right now, to my knowledge, in this discussion. I do follow some dog channels and cat channels and animal channels, rabbit, you know, and they're so far so good. I'm not exactly sure how they did it, but I don't know, I just wouldn't have felt comfortable doing that. So, um, I didn't want to take any risks. I mean, Mikey passed away in November. I was asked to keep the videos up longer. I noticed that most of them were downloaded a number of times. So, you know, my commitment was done. So, that being said, then um, I felt pretty free um, to privatize them, then download them, remove them completely from the channel. Would have been weird. I would have had to privatize them anyway, giving everybody a bit of notice. YouTube gave us a good bit of time, to make a determination what to do. But I'm looking at channels. Now I'm interested in seeing what videos are left up. I do see a number of videos that the video is okay, but the lead in picture is not acceptable. And I'm thinking, I know what the picture was. It was a man who was building a log cabin, and that's what we see. And it's in northern Ontario, and it's beautiful. He did it all himself by right from scratch, cutting his trees down, you name it, taking the limbs off the trees, planing it, leveling everything. It's incredible. What a job he did. It took him 2 years to build it, I believe. And yeah. So if you go to that channel, I'll have to get the name of the channel for you. The next time I'm on, I'll give you a list of different channels that I watch. Maybe in the comment section, you could share some channels that you really like. Um, there's no need to put links, but just give me the name and I'll find them and see what I think about them. I love finding new channels to watch. I watch a lot of baking channels. Some of them I kind of laugh and go, no, or yeah, that works really well. Dang, there's my secret out. But there's always a new way to cook things. So, mm, why did I name my live today this? Have not got a clue. Didn't know what to name it. So there you go. May come up with something a little bit more because there's so much more than just one topic. All right, yeah. So I have been looking around. I'm noticing a lot of like that girl I mentioned, that young girl that had uh, toys, older toys that she was sharing with people. I'm not certain if she has an eBay store or what, but anyway, I can't find her channel at all. Some of the dog and cat channels, and animal channels, seem to have gone. I've looked on other websites like Twitch and D Live and yeah, for them, and then I haven't seen them anywhere. One channel said that they were definitely going to make a website, but I think what they think, okay, leaving YouTube is going to solve the problem. Not quite, because COPPA applies to all of the internet, not just YouTube and not just Twitch and not just DLive. It's the whole internet. So if they built a website, those laws and rules would still apply to them. So it doesn't really make a lot of difference. All right. I have a different picture up today, and of course, although trying to center it, maybe I should have picked a different picture, but there you have it. I wanted to talk a little bit about percent. I notice a lot of creators will use the word percent when they're talking about supporting or backing a person or a channel or a concept or a theory, and they'll say, oh, "I back you 120%," and I've heard it so often now. I thought, oh, I've got to talk about it. It's really kind of bugging me, folks. Percent of buyer from 100. You can only have as high as 100%. So if somebody backs you more than 100%, guess what? It's a non-existent number. I guess they're not backing you. Just a little bit of, geeky math, science, information to share. There's nothing, no number over 100% exists. End of story. So in the future, if you really want to show your support to somebody, you can say, I back you 99%, always leaving that margin of error. Or I back you 95%, 90, 80, 50%, half unsure, but that's all right. Um, Now, it's interesting. I thought percent, two words or one word, both are okay, came from French words per, by or from, cent, 100. But oddly enough, it has a Latin derivative and comes from Latin words percentum, C-E-N-T-U-M. It can be one word, P-E-R-C-E-N-T, or two words, P-E-R space C-E-N-T. But whether it's used as an adjective or an adverb, you can Google it. You can use whatever you want to when you search. It's the same thing. Um, it There is nothing over said. The highest number of percent you can have is 100%. That's 100%. Nothing more than that. Nothing exists past that. So it's whatever part of 100 you want it to be, 60%, 50%, 5% per cent per 100. So it could be 2% of 100%. Get it? That's it. Pardon me. That old winter cough, huh? We're getting a lot of snow here, but we're not getting lambasted like Newfoundland is. I don't know if anybody gets news reports it out from the province that's farther east to us. They just got 70 centimeters of snow, which 2.54 centimeters. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. So, doing the math, that's about 30 inches. No, yeah, it's a lot of snow. But more than that, um, they had an avalanche, and it just all the snow from the mountain, obviously, as most people know, came down and settled right over town. It shows videos on YouTube here where people open their door, and the imprint of their door is right in this big wall of snow. The snow is pretty much covering houses. They're in a really bad state, and I know Newfoundland always gets the biggest brunt of rainstorms, hailstorms, snowstorms, but this has been a very odd, yeah, year for them, and horrifically bad storms. Now they're expecting another big snowstorm in 2 to 3 days. Today, apparently, they're thinking that the traffic will be quite heavy because they're allowing people to drive on the roads. They had to keep everybody off as best as possible. Only one person is missing. He is is extremely hyper, and although his family tried to keep him in the house, he set out on the road walking, and that was rather close to where the avalanche uh, came down off the mountain. So what happened? I don't know. Hopefully he'll be found safe, but as every day passes, they've a lot of places did lose power and whatnot. The phone lines are limited, so here's hoping for the best for him. Let me think in other news. Gosh, there's world news, there's this news, there's that news. Percentage was a big topic, a little bit of copper as well. New YouTube has new terms of service. I'm not sure if anybody ever bothers reading them. I do, just because. I mean, it's not like I'm just all over the place. Yeah, I'm a little channel, but that's okay. But the new terms, some of the new terms of service, and it would do every creator well to read them. And everybody who subscribes or you know, chooses to listen to channels, read them. Everybody should make themselves aware. Bullying is one of the biggest issues that YouTube is concerned about, and they're hoping to start cleaning everybody's act up. Well, I don't, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if that was because there were a lot of complaints against channels by other channels and maybe subscribers, but yep. So bullying is a big issue. I'm assuming on YouTube. Read the terms of service, folks. If you get even as much as a complaint lodged and it sticks, uh, and let's say you have membership, well, you could lose the membership, or I mean, you can lose it temporarily or permanently. Some folks are carrying on as if YouTube terms of service don't apply to them. It applies to everybody, right across the board. Like if I was to get on here and talk about so and so down the road, or this one or that one or the other, I mean, where I live, that's one thing. But if I'm to get on here and mention a specific creator's name or, a group of people that are subs, like a certain community, like the craft community, crafting, I wouldn't enter the other. I knit a lot. That's my big thing, but those guys can knit circles around me. But that's what I mean. Like people of like minded interests, like the crime community, the drama community, the historical community, and on and on and on, or beauty and makeup. Yeah, like I wouldn't enter that one for sure. They'd look at me and go, "Oh, get out of here." But anyway, yeah. Um, the terms of service have been fine lined. There's a legal documentation that goes with it. It's quite clear. It's quite concise. It details everything that YouTube expects from everybody on YouTube, whether, if you have an account, if you use that account and you make videos, whatever. So it applies to all of us right across the board. as somebody who views, who might chat in chats. Also, what kind of words and what kind of language and etc. is used in a chat. If I were to have like a live stream, I think I'd put a lot of words in that I would not allow my chat. I'm sure that that little area would be full of words. And hopefully I'd be able to get a couple of people to mod it because, yeah, no, YouTube is coming down really hard in that crap. And I don't know. It's their site. We don't own it. They do. And we're just letting it from them, borrowing it, pardon me. So that being stated, this weekend, I don't know. You miss a day on YouTube, you might as well say you missed a year because a lot of channels that were involved in back and forth and back and forth and back and forth nuances. The weekend, I missed most of it. So, I mean, I roll into a live yesterday and I had no clue what was going on. So, of course, I'm like, well, what's going on? Are you mad? And I'm thinking, after I listened to the live in the replay, I'm thinking, oh, you shouldn't have asked any questions. It's better if you don't know anything, just to listen and then go back and listen to what you miss afterwards. Oh, 2020 has started off very, I don't know, in a negative light. There's not one person at fault, but there's a lot of people playing in that kind of like gray, murky area. Uh, my feeling about YouTube and I've been around here for years. Yep. You might say, well, no, you haven't. We haven't seen you. Well, yes, I have. I'd almost actually call myself an OG. And you'd go, hmm? Yeah, but I was a lurking OG. So would that make me a log? Maybe so. But anyway, no. A lot of these personal channels, I mean, at one point in time, you had musicians, you had celebrities, you had news networks, more of that kind of thing. The personal channels, well, some were uploading videos of their families, etc. And then it became, I think, a little bit too dangerous to have family videos. So people went to you know, to other ways and did that. But to more private ways of sharing videos, if they lived across the country from the rest of the family. Um, but I'm telling you, uh, there was a time though. I mean, I did say before that the way I found some of the communities through um, Chris Watt's case, but no, I was searching for Travis Alexander case, the Casey Anthony case. Actually, not Travis, Jodi Arias case, Casey Anthony case, and cases before that, just because the media was not giving an awful lot of information, and you'd find so much of it on here. Um, that being said, I yeah, I'd stumble across some crime investigation channels, but you really couldn't get the full crux of the latest information about Jodi Arias. Well, especially if you looked at 5 different channels and they all had something different. So I relied more so on the major networks, feeling that they would have valid information. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to me. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I've been trying to subscribe back. Um, Look, I didn't expect anybody to subscribe, so it's really nice. I appreciate it. If there's ever anything you want to talk about or ask me about, feel free. I don't care. If I can answer it for you, I will gladly. Okay. One topic I do want to brush back over again before I leave is the word or words percent. Percentage. The maximum number of percentage is 100%. Percent of or by 100. Anything over that invalidates the number. And I guess if you say to somebody, I back you up 2,000%, that means they don't really back you up at all because that number doesn't exist. See? See how that goes? Yeah. A little bit farther than just a number. And Google it. Whatever search engine you use, look it up. Hey, good teacher would always have their students looking up information. Go read about it. Not difficult. It has a derivation from Latin, uh, then French as well, but it's very simple. If you want to keep your comment or your show of support to somebody valid, then go right up to 100% if you need to, or 75%. That's a strong support. But any number over 100%, it doesn't exist. So that's about all I have to say on that. Why don't you have a great day? And we're looking at more snow ourselves in the next day or so. Our shovel is all greased, and so is my husband's back. I usually tell him how to shovel. That's as an important a job as actually getting out and doing the hard work. Let's face it, there has to be a boss at every job, right? On that note, folks, have a great day. Bye now.